Hey there. Hey, as God usually does, He prompted me this morning to get on here with you, just to share a few things. And just for full disclosure, my wife and I both have tested positive for COVID-19. I'm not feeling very well. Not doing too bad this morning, but not doing the greatest. My wife is in the hospital. She's struggling. So definitely any prayers that you have would be great for that. But it made me start thinking about my last couple days. Now, here I am. I've a very big proponent of faith over fear. I think that's how we need to approach life. I think that's the equation that God's given us to approach life. But I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I overcomplicate things, but sometimes I oversimplify things. And I think sometimes with this faith over fear thing, I try to put God in a box. That faith looks like a certain way, right? And that the faith can't have a dynamic component. And so here's what I'm thinking on this, and this is what really came to my mind this morning while I was praying. It's Hebrews 10:25. This is from the Passion. This is not the time to pull away and neglect a meeting together, as some have formed the habit of doing. In fact, we should come together even more frequently, eager to encourage and urge each other onward as we anticipate that day dawning. I know that many of us, we can't meet in person at church, and it's probably been a long time for some of you. But I do think that that's not just limited now because of communication has changed, technology has changed. It's not just limited to meeting in person. It's doing life with other people. Now, I can tell you right now, for a person that's a big proponent of faith over fear, the last 2 days I have been gripped with fear. Not necessarily with my life. I feel like that's a little bit of it. It's kind of terrifying to finally realize, oh yeah, I got COVID-19. But I was gripped with fear because my wife is in the hospital. Now I have this. And am I going to go in the hospital? And if I go in the hospital, what's going to happen to my kids? What would happen if both of us passed away? All these things that were rolling through my mind. And do you know, I feel like my fear was over my faith the last couple days. And why I think it's important in this, this verse, Hebrews 10:25, is that the reason I can sit in front of you today with a different perspective and a different state of mind is because of my fellow believers. And not even my fellow believers, the people that are not believers that have surrounded us with love and compassion. We have been able, and I have been able to have a different perspective. That my fear is not what it was the last couple days. And I think it's super important in this time that we don't neglect the fact that we are still supposed to do life together. Excuse me. That means a little bit different, doesn't it? That means maybe reaching out to somebody that might be struggling. That means that some of you are able to do Zoom to see people face to face. That might even mean a text or an email just to check in with somebody and let them know you're thinking of them. Because quite frankly, if it wasn't for the love of the people that have surrounded me the last couple days, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get myself back up into a healthy place. And so God sends us, and He sends other people into each other's lives, and He speaks through us. And God spoke through people in my life the last couple days to lift me up. There's somewhere else in Scripture, and I cannot remember exactly. I think it's 2 Corinthians that talks about Paul. Paul was basically admitting that he was in depression, and I believe it was Titus, if I'm remembering correctly. I could get that wrong. I don't know, but that he was uplifted by a friend, and pulled out of that depth of sorrow by a friend. And it reminds me of myself and what I've been going through, and I'm sure that many of you have been going through. So just be encouraged, to be that for somebody else, but also receive it. Don't get yourself locked up in your house without talking to people. That's not going to help. You cannot do this on your own. We are not designed to do it on our own. And so it is with that I leave you this morning. I just truly hope that, that we can make it through this with a stronger faith, and that the message of faith over fear does not get lost in the crud of the coronavirus, and that we remember that our God is bigger than any of this. All right, God bless you, and take care.